And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Academy of Illusions live webcast here on the 9th of September. We have a fantastic new program that I'm very happy to introduce. Now, with me in the virtual studio is the one and only, oh my goodness, I'm a bit frightened about this. The only Gino DeVille. He's mad. He's marvelous. He's the the professor of mirth, mystery, and mayhem. The man who can, at any given moment, always say that he can solemnly swear he is up to no good. Please welcome Gino DeVille. Oh, you got to unmute, mate. What?
Oh, hello.
Did we catch you in an awkward time?
So sorry. Me and the Sennheiser bear were just bonding, as you know. Good morning. Hello. Hello, world.
How are you? How are you, my friend? Whoa, it looks like you're in the middle of like the Academy of Illusions library there.
Yes. Well, here I am in the DeVille Magic / Academy of Illusions library. All the wondrous books are being put in here at the moment. As you can see, up there. Yeah, right up there. Looking at the camera, there's some rather special stuff which we can talk about in a little bit, I think. Yes, you'll like that.
Aha. Excellent. Well, it's been a monumentous few weeks for this whole operation. We've launched the Academy of Illusions, and simultaneously we have launched the DeVille Magic site, which we're going to talk about today. It'll be a slightly different program than the upcoming episodes because this is a bit of a preview. So we'll do a little bit of a backstory, talk about Gino, talk about the involvement, the connection with the DeVille Magic, get an idea of what's happening currently with how the magic shop is doing, what are the plans in the future. And other than that, Gino, I'm sure he always has 2 or 3 things up his sleeve to surprise. So it won't all be talk, I can promise you. We have definitely, whenever Gino's involved, anything is possible. Oh, yeah.
dog. Yes. No, great. Okay. Well, where do we start, mon ami? Where do we start?
Let's go back to just a few minutes to go back to the beginning. Now, we were chatting yesterday and you said a really key thing, I think is a perfect example. Kind of let's go back at least 10, 15 years back to, you said you started working at Alan Allen's Magic Shop in London. Now, this is a famous, if you don't understand, if you're not a magician, Alan Allen is a legend. Okay, so that right there, you caught my attention. So I'm going to let you run with that. Go for it, Gino.
Well, I mean, there's not a huge amount to the story. I mean, I was like so many of us. I started magic as a child, about 8 years old. And through my teens, I often worked in Alan Allen's Magic Spot on a Saturday morning. It was my little Saturday job. If you're not familiar with Alan Allen was basically England's Houdini. He invented the burning rope straitjacket escape. He was a legend in magic worlds, sadly no longer with us, a total lunatic as a human being, a cuckoo. I mean, it was absolutely hilarious. He would stand, he was only like 5'2", and he would stand behind the counter in the magic shop with the big arrow through the head gag. And most people who would walk in the store and ask for something, he had a stock standard reply, which was, go look in the window. I mean, very, very strange social skills. But yeah, he was definitely my first mentor. As a late teenager, I started working as a street performer at Covent Garden, and that's kind of where I cut my chops, as it were. And the rest is history. It's like I've had a very, 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 and I will say, a very lucky career. Been in the right place at the right time many, many times. So.
And thank you. And now I'm sure there's lots more to tell about that, but we'll just hop through this for now, because you're doing street performing, but you're also very versatile. You're a musician, you're a DJ, you're an amazing computer programmer. So, you're not just a pretty face. I just want to make sure everyone understands this. Yes, there's brains behind that brawn.
No. I mean, okay. I was actually, to be honest with you, I'm like you, and a lot of other people. I mean, we're not unique. I'm not one of the people that can just, never been one of these people that can just go out and get a job and work and pay the bills. I have to do something that I'm interested in. And when I was a child, as well as magic, I was interested in early computers, Ataris and BBC Basics and stuff. So that was kind of like my introduction to computer things. DJing through the 80s, when I was a youngster, I was a break dancer, so I kind of got into the whole DJ thing as well. Love music. But actually playing music came later. Through the 90s, I spent nearly a decade on and off the cruise ships. I was resident magician aboard the QE2 for one, and I did 9 world cruises on there. Well, as you well know, on the cruise ships, you have a huge amount of downtime. You might only be doing 1 or 2 shows a week. So you have all this free time. And once you realize that, and you can really realize that, oh, you've got this free time, you need to do something productive with it. That's when I started learning. I got friends with the musicians on board, and I learned to play instruments. I mean, I don't play anywhere near as well as you do, but harmonica is my main instrument now. I love it. I love the sound. I love the tone. And over the years, I've played with bands, done solo stuff. So yeah, it's a fun extra release.
Yeah, I find that it's fascinating. The discipline of music, the discipline of magic, they sort of are complementary, because it requires obviously dedication, the focus, and it's never ending. We talk about this relentless pursuit of excellence. And the QE2, you caught me on that one too. Talk about an iconic cruise ship.
Oh yeah,
what a gig that must have been.
Actually, it was absolutely horrendous, to be honest with you. No, not at all. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, I'm a little East End London boy that came from very sort of humble origins, if you will, on that. And literally for the best part of a decade, well, kind of pretty much for 4.5 solid years, because I would do 6-month contracts at a time on the QE. We did 3 months around the world and then the other 3 months short hop cruises. But it was like no other boat, because the average age of passengers on the QE2 was deceased. At the time, it was the only cruise ship in the world that had an onboard morgue. You used to get these very rich American ladies and gentlemen coming on, basically to have their last days aboard the QE. It was very establishmentarianism. We used to have formal nights, which don't exist on cruise ships anymore, and it was a very, very, it was wonderful. I'm being paid a fortune to live in the lap of luxury, travel around the world, and do a job I love. So, what's wrong with that? The problem was, after 9 years, you start to get, it's terrible to say, but you start to get really complacent. Where are we today? Oh, stay on board and read a book. Wow. It's time to come off. And that's when I had to sort of like step away from the cruises, because it was just like I was getting complacent, which was horrible, But it was a lot of fun.
I've noticed, that's happened to a number of my friends, because it is this, the cruises in general. You're talking in many ways this golden age on the golden original classic liner. But I think any gig, no matter what, that you're just regularly doing it. And I've got a few friends who were regular, and you're right. It's easy to fall into a rut. And I've seen this on, when I'm running long shows at any given venue, you have to keep forcing yourself to back to that moment of it's the first time. Keep it focused, keep it fresh, and keep creating. That's what I found, is that it's that never stop creating, don't just settle back, don't rest on your laurels. But it's what I've always found. It's like, no, let's develop something new. I've got enough. Let's put something new in the show. Let's create this. Let's twist that.
Totally. Well, the interesting thing about the cruising now is, because I didn't just work through the 90s. I didn't just work for Cunard on the QE. I was doing, Royal Caribbean, Holland America lines. And so that was sort of like guest headline. You were flying. Now, you fly to meet a ship, do a show, get off, fly somewhere else, meet another ship. Those days are all gone now. The whole formal night thing on cruise ships have gone. It's a very, very different world. Now, I haven't done cruise ships in a large way for a really long time, but because it's a new breed, a new way of doing things now, I've taken a contract this Christmas. I'm going to do one of the Chinese ships out of Shanghai for a month. Because it's new. And really crazy little things like, I'm a bit of a wild boy, and under the shirts, to be honest with you, I have a lot of tattoos. All my tattoos tell stories of my life. And there's a lot of magic ones there. And as far as I know, I was one of the very first people that had magic tattoos. Now it's the norm. It's the norm. I've never gone any lower than my elbows, because you couldn't work corporate gigs. You couldn't work cruise ships with visible tattoos. I have earrings. On the QE, I had to take them out every day. So it was very much like this. Now, wow, it's a whole new world. You can walk around, the tattoos are showing, the style, beards, huge long beards, very different world as it used to be. And like you say, we have to evolve with this. If you stay in the old way, you just kind of like fizzle away and off into obscurity, and you have to revolve and change with the times.
Absolutely. Now, somewhere along the line, you jumped from cruise ships to China, and you've become one of China's most successful touring magicians. You toured all over, sold out shows in all the major theaters all across the country. I teased that a little, some of that in the intro. Over 1 million tickets sold.
Yeah.
And families, very family friendly style, mixing, stuff that plays for the kids as well as to the adults.
Well, okay, so very, very, very quickly, over the years, I've been lucky enough to be one of those. I class myself as a bit of a grinder in the magic world. I've done it all, from kids shows to corporate to trade fairs to corporate close-up, restaurant close-up, table hopping, you name it, theme parks. I've done it all over the years. I got seen by a very, very famous family entertainer called Keith Harris, who had his ventriloquist, sadly no longer with us. He was looking for a new magician to join him on his family tour shows, pantomimes at Christmas, and his TV shows. So he taught me everything I know about theatre and production and this kind of thing. Well, so that was half my year in the UK, theatre shows, theme parks with Keith, then the cruise ships in the winter. Did that for years. Corporate gigs flying all over the world, they were there as well. And basically any gig that came in, you know, oh, I haven't got much work, let's do kids' house parties, no problem. Along the way, I got sort of complacent about things and I left the UK, moved to the States, bought a boat in Florida, which I still have, lived on it for a few years. I did a couple of contracts for Disney up in Orlando, which was awesome. Then I wanted to get back on the ships. I was actually at the time on a tour with a carnival in Australia. And I did a few Australasia cruise contracts. And then somebody phoned me up and said, oh, can you come to China and do a month-long show about 1 hour north from Hong Kong in mainland China in a city called Dongguan in a theater? And I went, yeah, great, part of a variety show. So I flew in. Now, I'd been to China once before, to Beijing, but I was in a 5-star hotel. It was just like the West. It was nothing. I arrived in China. Wow, what a culture shock. And I'm pretty well traveled. You know, I'd been to Shanghai before, again on the cruise ships. Hong Kong, totally different inside mainland China. But what I realized was in China, you get an awful lot of bang for your buck. It's very, very cheap to live. It's also nothing like people read in the media. You know, about all this, you know, the closed, you know, society's big brothers looking over your shoulder and oppressing you all the time. It's nothing like that here at all. So I realized that I could live here for a very meager fee, but I could open my own workshops where I like building things. And so I decided to base myself here. Along the way, I met my wife. I realized that if I was going to stay with my wife, I didn't want to travel. I didn't want to do the ships or international anymore. So I worked hard on Chinese language, wrote Gino's World, which is a theatre tour show, of which I'd had similar in the UK before, but of course in China. And we ran Gino's World for 8 years. We were doing around 250 shows a year around the theatres of China. Off the top of that, it brought in TV shows. I've hosted 6 TV shows in China. And with Gino's World alone, we were humbled. I can't believe it. We actually, in 8 years, we sold over 1 million tickets. So that is just wow. I mean, wow. And that's kind of like bring us right up to date, really.
That's amazing. Well, this is it. I mean, you're one of these absolute hardworking pros who's been at it for, 35 years or more nonstop. And this whole angle, this idea of kids to corporate, you say, well, look, whatever it takes, but also that expands your natural performance ability. You've clearly developed this. You have on one hand serious chops. You understand the work, you understand the business of magic, the methods of magic, and all that. But you're also a very zany, fun, playful entertainer, which to me, that's a really nice balance, because I always felt like that Albert Goshman typified this perfect balance of you're not compromising the magic and say, well, I'm just a magician. I mean, I'm just an entertainer. I don't need to worry. It's like, no. You keep the quality of the magic up and you can still be playful and have fun.
Absolutely. I mean, along my magical journey when I was young, not only did I have huge influences from people like Alan Allen, who had this wacky style and this wacky outlet, but because I'm a Londoner, I had access to some greats who were just total bonker people. I mean, Ali Bongo, Pat Page, and I don't know if you remember the gentleman, again, none of these people sadly with us anymore, but there was a gentleman by the name of Will Ayling. And Will Ayling was, wow, here's a little showbiz story. This was my very, very first gig off the street, as in a sort of a walkabout close up. It wasn't a table hopping gig. It was in a sort of like a village hall. It was one of these Sunday afternoon community gigs. And I'd been booked for it. And I was so nervous because this was, like I say, my first gig off the street. I had my street show, which was a set piece, but I hadn't at that time learned to be flexible, you know, let it go, bring it in, let it go, bring it in when you need to. And I got to this place and I saw this little old man. Now, at the time, you know, I was this kind of like cool, you know, Londoner, you know, with a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. And I saw this old guy and I thought, you know, who's this guy? Actually, I didn't have a clue who he was until he introduced himself. And then it was like, and it was Will Ayling. Now, this guy at the time was getting on for late 50s, which of course for me at the time was incredibly old. But he was unbelievable. He was wacky, he was zany, he was doing classics, but just blowing people away. And I remember I was just mesmerized by Will's style. We talked for about 2 or 3 hours after the gig, and he gave me so much amazing, magical advice on how to, you know, how to create entertainment. And it was one of the things that stays with me for life, was just that one conversation. I can honestly say it changed my life. It really did.
Isn't that amazing? And you mentioned Ali Bongo and Patrick Page, who I didn't ever meet. I don't believe I met Will, unless it was in passing at the Magic Circle. But certainly Ali Bongo and Patrick Page were two of my great mentors that I looked up to. And as you said, sometimes it was the smallest thing that you just like the light bulb went off and like, oh my gosh. That, you know, sometimes wisdom comes in very small parcels, and yet it can be life-changing, huh?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is to take everything on board, because at some point you might realize it if you didn't realize it in the beginning. And that seems to be the thing. You know, some people, the knowledge, the advice that you can get at some point, are you ready to actually understand it? Are you ready to realize it? So as long as you can remember it, maybe 5 years later, you'll go, oh, I remember when such and such said that to me. Ting, and a light bulb comes on, you know.
Boy, he got really smart at that. At the time, he was an old guy, he doesn't know anything. A few years later, ooh.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. So up to let's bring you almost up to be. You just finished. Now you're still really active performing up until you just did this Superstars of Magic show, Franz Harari show, Hainan Island, right?
Yes.
In China.
Yes. Okay, so here's my COVID journey. 24th, because we started the whole COVID thing. I'm jumping back a few months. We started the whole COVID thing 3 months before the rest of the world, sadly, you know. So I'm on a stage in a theme park called Happy Valley, which is basically like a Chinese Disney. It's the biggest theme park chain inside of China, doing a comedy magic festival. Now, I've done this festival on and off over the years. I've done the festivals at this place for 18 times. So I'm standing on stage and I'm doing my sound check. All the bosses are in front, checking everything, They all know me. They've known me for years. Now, I work 100% in Mandarin Chinese, so everybody knows me. Halfway through my sound check, I'm getting the proverbial stop. And it's like they say in Chinese, Gino, get off the stage and leave. Go back to your hotel. Well, I freaked. I tell you, I can honestly admit, I had tears coming out my eyes. I'm going, what's going on? What's going on? And no one would talk to me. I noticed this hustle and bustle running around. I get back to the hotel and they say, yes, there's this outbreak of a virus and everything's being closed down. The country's literally grinding to a halt. So go home. Into my car, I drove home. And then like myself, like everybody else in the world, I'm now at home. I'm doing nothing. So I started making lots of social media videos. I became very active on social media, writing, creating, all sorts of things. Then, just as I was going out of my mind with boredom, like everybody else, I got a call from the heavens. Honestly, it was like the clouds opened up and the sunshine came through. Franz Harari called me from the States and said, Gino, are you touring right now? Are you busy? And I went, no, of course not. And he said, right, I have the Superstars of Magic show over on Hainan Island in the city called Sanya. Now, for anybody that's not familiar with Hainan, Hainan would be a tourist island, such as Bali is for Australians, maybe Hawaii is for Americans, Spanish resorts, Costa del Sol, Costa Brava for UK. It's one of those islands. Tourists go there. Water sports, diving, the whole thing. Lots of entertainment. So Franz opened up this mega $1 million show, again, with all the superstars of Magic that he works a lot with. You've got Rocco Solano, Danny and Stacey Cole, the whole pile of them. David Haynes was his understudy there. It was a load of them, all Americans there. They did 2 shows and got shut down and then all sent home. Well, of course, we work in a business called show business. And we do the show part, but there's always people behind doing the business part. And you have this very, very big corporate company in Beijing who are now hemorrhaging money. Literally, this show cost $9 million to open. They are paying for this huge purpose-built theater. They're paying out to Hainan Island every week for the land and the car parking and everything else. So they were desperate to get a show open. Franz said, can you go over and reopen this show with anyone else that we can find in Asia? So there were a couple of people, Mark and Tina from Taiwan, they could come in. I have a friend of mine who's one of the Korean Wonder Kid manipulators called Saming John, who is just freaking awesome. And then there's a great close-up worker from Macau called Billy Kong. And we all congregated onto Hainan Island and went into rehearsals for a month, opened the show, and I was there for 6 months, which was it was a blessing. It was unbelievable. It was really, really good.
Amazing. I saw, obviously I was watching, you and I connected about the beginning, probably February 2020. Just happened to connect on, you talk about the social media. And although I think our paths crossed a few times earlier, it didn't really stick. We sort of, we met at conventions and across the way. You were busy on your cruise ships. I was off in Europe. Sure. I was touring, living in your home country. You were off, you were in Australia, right? So it was, we would wave as the planes passed each other in the sky.
Absolutely.
But we connected. That's what the point being, seriously, is we actually connected. We did pulled together the Webcasting Wizardry production, which was an early now, back in the old days, just over a year ago. That was our first gala. But that got us connected as simply as both on the friendship, the business. We started really realizing there was a commonality, the way of thinking, the approach to the art, and obviously this vast depth of just real world experience. And that brought us up. I mean, the show sounds amazing. Obviously, the Franz Harari show. I got to look at the videos from that. The theater is extraordinary. Oh my gosh, things happening on the ceiling, and as you say, real state of the art production.
Nowadays, I mean, I have to say, I mean, even with my Gino's World Tour show, where I try and put a lot of attention to detail. With a touring show, you just can't do the stuff that you have when you've got a residency. We literally had every form of special effects device hanging. You need snow, no problem. Bosh. You need
push
fire,
a button. You need on a snow. Burst of fire.
It was incredible.
Lasers. Which ones you want? You're right.
Yeah. It was every production scene had pyros or snow or smoke or mist or you name it, it was all there. The only thing we didn't have was dry ice. And the only reason we didn't have dry ice is because of COVID. All the companies on the island that did it weren't open. So it was unbelievable. It was an incredible show. Fantastic.
Well, that brings us almost up to date because you and I started, now we get to where the planning happened, where you came off of that and you sort of reshifted back to building the website and planning for the DeVille Magic site. And you and I were in touch throughout all of that. We started comparing notes, looking at a common destiny for this. And it was only about a month ago that we really said, hold on, I've got the Academy of Illusions happening. You've got this happening. This is just a marriage made in magic heaven, so to speak.
Totally. I mean, it was so weird that we'd both had such a similar idea. And then it just kind of like, we were on like two highways. And then we sort of like both chicaned off into the thing, into the same highway. I mean, I hadn't actually done anything within the magic world from back in the 90s, where I released some of my own products, and that was that was kind of my competition days. But I got out of working within the magic world. However, getting older now and not wanting to tour as much, I thought, okay, well, now is the time that I want to start getting back inside the magic fraternity again. I have a whole load of my own stuff that I wanted to release, but I wanted to go down a new route. I wanted to create a magic store. Because I live in China, shipping is very, very difficult. So I wanted to create a magic store. I wanted to have products that were downloadable, but I didn't want to go down the route of being another, and I'm not going to mention names. I didn't want to just be another download site with the same old stuff that everybody is selling. I wanted to be exclusive, have great creators, really, really, really good stuff, and stuff that's not available elsewhere. But then I started to pivot, and I thought, well, I want a community. I want a resource where magicians can come, they can learn, they can share ideas, literally the whole umbrella. So the store is only a small part of it. And then of course we got talking, and you had literally put your entire, or started to put your entire life's work on film. And it was just like, wow. And then, of course, the Academy of Illusions came along, which is the training, the mentors, and everything just all started to click together. And that's kind of where we are now, isn't it, really?
Hallelujah.
September the 1st. Yeah.
And here we are. Now, I'm going to take just a second. I'm going to say a couple of things. Number one, with each one of these webcasts, we're sort of pushing the envelope. And just so you know, I'm going to unspotlight Gino for a second. He can kind of, when I remove his spotlight, he can have his cup of tea. Gino and I are very similar. We're fearless. There's something about life growing up rough. I didn't have much money growing up either. It's the school of hard knocks. So you have this fearless attitude. And so a lot of this, we're just taking these massive leaps. It's like, well, we don't have to ask anyone. Let's do it. Now, I say that because with this webcast, not only are we streaming to, of course, our Facebook page, but Gino, we're experimenting then also streaming live to the DeVille Magic website. And that gives us another, for people who say, oh, I'm not on Facebook, this and that. So now if we're crossing our fingers one way or the other, it will work. But this is our experimental webcasting directly to his website. Now, I'll take a couple seconds. I do want to say a shout out to Rick. I'm watching we got Tom Illusions, who's also watching the Facebook page. So we got a team thing going on here. But I do want to say a shout out to Rick Saldan. Well, hey, dude, awesome. Great. Thanks for joining us. You've been here through all of this. Dale Truman from Australia, he's checking it out. I know most of the UK team, they're fast asleep now. But hopefully, I know we have a handful of people coming in from watching us from the US as well. So look, everything we're doing is we're right on this crest of the wave, and we're, as Gina said, trying to say, well, let's create the state-of-the-art magic shop that, all the setup for the online, the downloads. And it's not just myself. I mean, it's great that we've loaded it up. Now the site is the exclusive for all my products, all the downloads, and a lot more in the works. But you've got a number of others, right, Gino?
Oh yes. Well, this is great. I mean, first of all, I want to say that, we opened the doors officially on September the 1st, and the response has been amazing, absolutely amazing. So thank you so much. All I can say is that onward and upwards. We are so committed to just pushing forward, trying new ideas, going, breaking down new barriers, really. Right now, we have a select group of creators, which I'm going to sort of introduce. Of course, we have, all of Jay's stuff there, looking incredibly debonair and handsome, I have to say. So yeah, we've got all your stuff. We've actually got 62 JSB products. We've got some more to come soon, haven't we, Jay?
Yes, we do. As a matter of fact, we
Yeah,
have
okay,
more
we'll
coming.
Okay,
No,
we'll talk
no,
about
no.
those.
That's all right. No.
Sorry.
Yes, in fact, September, I'm thinking we're looking at right now. We've got the Zoom storming sessions going. We've got a lot of new series we're getting started along with this one. And then we are targeting no later than what is it? November 1st. So
Cool.
11/1 to release a number of successive new digital downloads, including all the original routines that I have in the Art of Wonder lectures.
Super. Yeah. So we've got, as I say, at the moment, there's 62 downloads, all broken into your various categories. And I mean, they are, if you haven't seen them yet, they're incredible, absolutely incredible. So then let's move along. So as far as creators go, jumping off creators, because I've got this into sort of a list. I've put a section in. I've got I won't call him a staff writer because that sounds a little bit rude, but a very, very, very old friend of mine, and I've known him since we were teenagers. We started on the streets of Covent Garden together. He's from London, but he lives in Australia for years now. He's Nick Nicholas. Now, Nick is a legendary street magician. He's won more awards on the street. I mean, he's been the world champion street magician so many times, it's unbelievable. For the last decade, he's been one of the most popular cruise ships magicians. This guy also has a life of experience. Well, Nick is an avid and an amazing writer, and he has very kindly agreed to do an article entitled Heads and Tails, Nick Nicholas Heads and Tails. And every 2 weeks, he will be writing an article, sharing his tips and tricks and show business stories. And believe me, he's got a lot of them. So that is going to be absolutely awesome. So that's his column. Now, the next I'll move along to, there he is, JP, the fabulous, legendary Jeremy Pay. Now, if you don't know Jeremy is a bit of an Asian superstar. He's been in magic for so long. His father was a magician, so he started as a child magician. He's done the Magic Castle. He's awards all over the world. He runs magic companies. I mean, Jeremy is the absolute epitome of a magician, a lifetime magician. Well, I've known Jeremy a long time. We've worked together on many, many shows, and he is absolutely awesome. So he has decided, he actually sells physical products through his own company, but he's agreed to create really cool downloads of some of his effects, which will be exclusively available through DeVille Magic. So that's JP. So we're fabulously happy to have him. Another buddy of mine, who I've known a long time, this is Max Marshall. Now, you also know Max, Jay, I understand. Max, again, started as a street performer, did his chops on the street, but then he joined Disney, realizing that the family entertainment was his forte, and he's been with Disney now for the last 15, 20 years getting on. And this guy does hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shows a year. He is a phenomenal variety entertainer, and he is now sharing his life's work, if you will, gags, ideas, tips, all sorts of things. So Max Marshall's got his products coming. Then moving on, this is Mikhail Schmid. Now, Mikhail is very much of a new breed of magician. He is from Eastern Europe. He's lived over in Asia for a long time, and he has this absolute wild Gothic style, and he's an incredible creator. He kind of became well known in the magic world a few years ago with an effect called the bullet catch. which was this little cannon shooting bullets, his bullet catch routine. Well, Mikhail's come on board and creating a lot of his stuff. He's got amazing takes on classics. And so those are coming into the downloads, sort of like slowly building up. So that's the creators we've got on board at the moment. We're always looking for new good people. And I can assure you, with my hand on my heart, we will not just take any old fluff.
Well, you and I have been talking about that. And again, that's where it was really clear a common destiny, a common goal was that just commitment to excellence, in everyone when we talked about this early. And I can say that there are a handful of others, including, let's see, a little bird told me that Eric Stevens is about to come on board with a lot of his new stuff. And I'll tell you about Eric. Look, if you haven't heard of Eric, man, I've sort of mentored him over the last 10 years and I pulled him out of reasonably obscurity. Again, he had the talent. That's always the thing. You can't say, look, I made it. It's like I opened the doorways. He came onto a number of the magic festivals. In fact, I think he's actually done more of my magic festivals than anyone else. I think he's done I've done a dozen of them, and he's done at least half a dozen with me. And each time I pushed him, this idea of the mentoring, you give him the opportunity, but you say, all right, push him harder, push him farther, to where now he's emerged as absolutely one of the top rising stars, establishing himself in the world today. And with his hot rod routine, I would have said up until I saw it, I would have pretty much said, look, I do some of the best, if not the best moves work. And I saw him and I went, that's it. I said, I'm handing my crown to you. You are now, I mean, that was it. It was this beautiful moment where the master realizes that you say it, there you go. You're really proud, because if you have not seen Eric and his work with paddles, he took the best of my stuff, the best of he really did this incredible Jeet Kune Do and then added all these other very original things. So he's coming on board. I believe we have in the wings a custom set, like an exclusive set of hot rods that maybe are on the back burner cooking right now with like really fine woods and gems. And so it's something that's missing in the world, because I always felt like it's a great gimmick. I mean, I made my own years ago, but the plastic is always what lets it down. It looks like a cheap magic shop item, but the moment you put it in hard cherry wood or something else and put like Swarovski crystals in it, I'll start using it.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the idea, I've always loved paddles. I mean, it's a classic. It's just wonderful. The things you can do with it, the magic you can create with paddles is just incredible. And again, for a long, long time, I always liked the idea of having sort of like a really beautiful, exotic wood paddle set. And there's a few flying around, but so I thought, okay, now I'm here. Now I'm not touring. Now I've got the time and I like building things. I've designed an exclusive paddle set, and I'm not going to say too much about it because it's in the works at the moment, but it's more than one. But I will say this. I am super stoked and so honored that Eric has agreed to join us, and he is going to create his hot rod routine. Well, not create because it's already created, but we're going to put a signature routine together with one of the paddles. And also, Jay, one of your routines with paddles is going to be on one of this. So each of the paddles in this exclusive set is going to have a master routine going with it. And it's just going to be unbelievable. And it's never been done like this before. I can't wait. And haven't we got somebody else climbing up the ladder as well that's going to join us soon? I'm kind of looking forward to seeing that. With a certain
Well, this is where it gets fascinating, because again, what you just described is people. So it helps to understand how from the get-go, from square one, the DeVille Magic is setting itself apart in the same way as the Academy. We're not copying anyone. We're trying to take the best of and yet create something new and really forge new ground. And I love the idea. We talked about as you say, the paddles, and then a number of different downloads that are available with each one from top workers in the world. Now one of my students that I've been mentoring for over a year, Austin Moody, has just broken. He went from beginner to pro, and he broke out with a signature routine of coins and coasters, which will certainly be his first download. We'll be filming that and putting that. I'm reasonably targeting the first of the year. If we can get it ready sooner, I don't want to let him out until it's ready. I'm very deliberately, I'm holding back. But he is absolutely on board. Ethan Sutton is still an unknown name, but watch this space, because he's another one of my students who's really, whoa. Casually. He's what Jack Goldfinger used to tell me. He says, I'm getting all these tapes from guys that are phenomenal talents, but they don't have an act. They don't have 18 minutes to perform. They don't have a beginning, a middle, an end, and a character. And Ethan came to me as, I don't want to typify, because he's a very unique character, very unique, very genius mentality, but he has spent so much time on cardistry skills and coin skills. And again, I was basically already saying, look, let's organize these routines and get them prepared for sale, because the world of Magic needs new ideas, fresh faces, fresh takes on classic effects, as you said. So both of those are coming up, absolutely. And both of them will be on our gala at the end of the month. We got a lot of, basically on the 26th of September, the Academy of Illusions is doing our first gala. So you'll get a sneak preview of, right, that's how it all comes together, because you'll get to see the performances, which in a few months, those digital downloads will be available exclusively through DeVille Magic. So that's how everything ties together.
Well, this is I tell you, I can't wait. There's so much I won't even say it's on the back burner, because it's not the back burner anymore. It's been taken off the burner, put on the plate, ready to be served. If you want to go
Everything's on the front burner now, Gino. Sure, that's how I feel. There's like 8 front burners, and all the pots are boiling, aren't they?
Yeah, we've got the sous chef in the back saying, right, it's almost ready to go out. It's so great. Exactly. So here's a couple of other things, like I say, that I've wanted to do. There's so many new things that are coming in. Some of them that aren't there yet, which we can talk about in a minute. But for example, there's a bit of a South African superstar by the name of Brendan Peel. Now, Brendan, he was on Britain's Got Talent with his sometimes partner Lee Lau, and they did the most incredible act, because it's just wacky. It's just so offbeat. So you've got Lee Lau as an escape artist. He's chained up to a post, and in front of him, he's got a crossbow. Well, the crossbow is going to fire as soon as a sandbag or a weight lifts up, because you've got a sandbag or something like, there's some mechanism where the weight is lifting up. Well, the only way to stop this is to give more weight. So then you've got Brendan solving Rubik's Cubes. And each time he solves one, he can put it on a platform and it gives a little bit more weight. And now that was the act that they did in Britain's Got Talent. And I mean, it's had millions and millions of views. It was just incredible. Well, Brendan is one of the new breed. And quoting the movie Zoolander, he has a little bit of an ace up his sleeve as well. He's incredibly, incredibly, incredibly good looking.
Oh my, look at those bedroom eyes. Oh, yes.
I mean, that is a baby Brad Pitt, if ever I've seen one.
I'm telling you. Down girls.
It's crazy. Well, Brendan came along to me. I've known him for a while. I've actually mentored him a little, and his one of his best friends in South Africa, a guy called Vian, who's now got like 14 million followers on TikTok. I mean, this sort of thing. There's a lot of hatred around the world of social media magicians at the moment, but I will say Vian's 23 years old and he's bought his new house. He's got a, Audi TT. He works so hard and he has changed his life. So love social media magicians, hate them. I mean, he really doesn't care because he is living the dream from his hard work. But anyway, Brendan came to me and said, look, I love what you're doing with DeVille Magic. I love the whole concept of community and giving back, and pushing magic forward. So I'd love to be involved. So he is just about to release his range of downloads soon, which is going to be awesome stuff. But at the moment, we've got him throughout the site with Brendan Peel's Joke of the Day. And basically, Brendan gives the most awful jokes. And I mean, these are just cringeworthy puns, but it changes all the time. So it's wonderful content to have through the site. So that's Brendan. Then we've just about to launch something really awesome. And by the snap of my fingers, boom, there he is. Look at that. Look at that. That is Chris Edwards. Now, if you're not familiar with Chris Edwards, Chris is, his beard is very small there. He's actually got one of these huge mega beards right now that's very fashionably popular. I call Chris the Beard of Magic. He's a new breed. He is very much of a new breed. You know, he's all tattooed up. He's got this big beard. He follows a lot of fashion style and what have you. However, he is a pro adult performer and a pro kids performer with a lot of years under his belt. This guy goes out, he lives and breathes magic. Well, we've been talking about him doing a review show for DeVille Magic. Now, as you and I know, Jay, it was a little bit of a weird conversation, because why would a magic dealership review physical products that they're not selling? It seems a little bit weird. Well, to answer that question, in case anybody asked this, is because we want to give back to magic first. Yes, the store is there. It's a business, sure, but we want to give back to magic first. So every week, Chris Edwards will be giving an unbiased review of 2 items, a physical item that we don't even sell, and he can, on the review, he will tell you where to go and buy it. It'll be available from probably some of the major dealers and what have you. So nothing to do with us at all. Totally an unbiased review on new stuff in the magic world. But then, and I think, Jay, get ready to shake in your boots about this one, mate. I know I am. We're going to give Chris a random download product from our catalog. It could be one of yours, Jay. It could be one of mine. It could be one of JP's. And he is going to give a totally unbiased review on that. So that's going to be coming up, and that will build up every week. We're going to have 2 new reviews, one of ours, one from the rest of the magic world. And I'm so excited about it because it's just more stuff that's just going to give back to magic.
Outstanding. Now, you mentioned, I'll sort of bring that point up. It's not just these others who you put the pretty pictures up around, but yourself. You also have, obviously, incredible foundation, years of experience. But you've also got your own digital downloads, which are very different, very distinctive, and very unique, that are also exclusive to the DeVille Magic site.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I mean, I've got getting on. I'm 55 now. I started magic at 8, so I've kind of got a really long, shelf life behind me as well. And I got a load of stuff that I've never shared with anything, actually. And I've got a lot of new stuff because the year in lockdown, with the initial COVID situation, I was able to really, because I was off stage, I was in my workshops, and I was able to create. And it was something that I wanted to do for a long time, but just didn't have the time. So I'm putting out some new card gimmicks and all sorts of things. One of the things that's been very popular out of the gate is the old French art of chipography. Now, I was introduced to chipography back in the 1990s, and I've had it in and out of shows over the years, but there are very few resources on it, and it's becoming really popular because people have never seen it before. And chipography in French basically is the art of hat folding, and you have a circular piece of felt donut, and you can twist it and turn it into different hats, and it becomes a comedic character routine, you know. And the late Harry Anderson, who was an idol of mine, he did the most amazing routine with Shipography. And that download I've done sort of a Shipography masterclass, and it's becoming very, very popular. So yes, I've got a lot of my stuff, and it's all different stuff, you know.
Excellent. Now, I think you have a couple of now we've been doing real good. I'm going to say hello to Joel, say hello to a few others. Cheers to everyone watching us on the Facebook. Now, this isn't all talk. We want to give them a little bit of tease of sort of what the upcoming Genomania shows. Now, you've got a bit of performance pieces there logged out, set ready to go for us. Is that right? Why don't you take off?
Well, what I've done is some of my videos that you know, we put out on social media last year. One of them was one of the winners of the Cyber Magic Superstars competition. We showed this, but this is a favorite of mine. I call this Miller. It's a pre-recorded piece, but I hope you enjoy it. And
I love that.
Yeah, it's that. You see, that's the sort of stuff that I was doing during the beginning of lockdown, because I had all this stuff in my head. Well, of course, with Geno's World, the big theatre tour show, you know, I have a cast and crew of 11, and we got trucks and logistics, and it's just so much work. Well, suddenly I've got nothing. I'm at home. I'm able to get in the room, and I've got all these great ideas I wanted to get out. And the inspiration behind Miller, I called it Miller after somebody, but that's totally irrelevant. But the inspiration, of course, came from the great Martin Lewis's Cardiographic. And it's an awesome popular effect. But I had this kind of wacky idea of using a similar thing, and that's what came out of it. So I was very happy. And
very clever. Yeah, I like it. I had not seen that. You sort of kept these secret for me because I said, no, I want to see it in real time like everyone else. I love that.
Cool. Thank you so much. Yes, I was quite pleased with it. And on Chinese social media, over 6 million views. So yay, humbleness.
Woo. Yeah. Oh, amazing. Now we're also working on what's coming up. So we have an idea of what's happening. We know there's a lot of things happening with the Academy that we're tying in directly with DeVille Magic. And there's also, we're planning ahead, just like obviously this program will be continually keeping everyone up to date. We'll have performances, we'll have guest stars. We've got the newsletter coming out, which is a sort of a combination of the Academy and the DeVille Magic newsletter. So if you want to sign up for that on the DeVille Magic page. And then we're writing the Academy news to the Magic e-zine, Alan Watson's Magic e-zine. And again, we're just going to start tying all of this together, all these bits and pieces of the puzzle. We're just very deliberately and carefully putting into place.
Well, yeah, I mean, you and I have talked about this a lot, and one of the things that we stumbled across quite a while ago was There are so many magic courses out there, but they're really, really being focused for magicians that already have some form of understanding of magic. And a lot of them are focusing on a particular discipline. Like you have, card magic courses all over the place. Some of them are absolutely amazing, and I'm happy to advertise. Steve Faulkner's card magic course is absolutely brilliant, and he is a phenomenally nice guy as well. I love Steve to bits, but like I say, it's a card magic course. The Academy of Illusions, a lot of the people that you're mentoring at this moment are magicians that have come to you as a grandmaster and saying, right, take me to the next level. Well, we decided that what about people that aren't on any level yet? They're at the bottom of the ladder. They've not even found the ladder. And that's what we want to create. We want to create a course which will be accessible from within inside of DeVille Magic, and it will be part of the Academy of Illusions, and it will be basically, what's the word for it? A beginner's magic course. It will
Beginner's
not cover
entry course.
it will not cover one specific discipline. It will cover magic, how to enter magic, every aspect of magic, because there's so much to know on your magical journey. And everybody, YouTube videos are abundant out there, but they're all focusing on either a move or a particular effect. And that is not a base. You don't grow a tree by just taking a fully grown tree and sticking it on the ground. You've got to have the roots.
And that's it. That's kind of the same philosophy that I'm putting into the mentoring and even the Zoom storming. Now, the Zoom storming sessions have just begun, and that's a weekly, and not necessarily for beginners, but I'm still, even for experts, I'm saying, all right, we're going to go back to the foundations, because what's often missing is exactly what you said. They've learned by this trick and that trick and that trick, and they don't have some of the most significant foundation skills. And that's what we're putting into this idea. All right, if we're going to start someone who truly enthusiastic, and one of the beauties is magic, you can start whether you're 6 or 60. There really is. You can enter in it. You say, wow, I always wanted to do that. So we figure, well, let's create a course that applies to that, very international. And again, bringing together some of the best minds from the Academy and from your team as well.
Oh, yeah. I'm really, really looking forward to it, because it is something that I believe is missing. And it's something, as I say, my magic journey has just been, I've just been blessed, and I'm still on it. I can honestly say that, even at 55, I'm learning every day still, and I still love to learn. I'm still enthused of magic. It's great. Another thing that's going to be part of all of that is, of course, I suppose we can tell the world about it. Originally, it was going to be a secret, but it seems to make more sense to not. Within the DeVille Magic site, we have what's called the VIP section. Now, the VIP section is basically gets upgraded. A customer gets upgraded for certain reasons. I won't go into those reasons now. Now, in the VIP section, we have a massive amount of out-of-print magic book downloads and other goodies. We have the JSB signature book set. So these are books that J. Scott Berry, I absolutely swear by for people on a magic journey. And that's your own area. These books are books that you swear by. There's hundreds. So that's great there. We've got all sorts of things. The magic quiz. I just want to mention the magic quiz, because that's becoming really popular. Deep down through the menus of DeVille Magic, we've got a magic quiz, and basically it's a 5-minute timed quiz. And if you can answer all 20 questions correctly, and you can't cheat because it's a timed limit, then you win an access code of where you can get 10% discount of anything in the store, and that coupon is usable right up until the end of September, and then we'll throw another one on there. The Magic Quiz has been really popular. Oh, because I have a record of people that have done it. No one's got there yet. 19. We've had somebody new 19, but nobody's actually got the full 20 and got that yet. So that's the thing. So there's so much coming. There's so much coming in future months, and this is all pushing forward. I'm so excited, and I want to end my passionate rant about DeVille Magic, if you will, on one thing. Once again, a huge kudos to everyone that has come along, has supported us, has given encouragement, have shopped with us already. Guys, you have been unbelievably. The support has been incredible. So thank you from the bottom of all our hearts.
Absolutely. And thank you, Gino, because I'm going to get you back for one more performance in just a second, because I think you have one more ready to go, but I'll do a sort of, there we go. I'll drop you out for a second. I'm doing all the, there we go. I'm back. Okay. So absolutely. I would also echo that, thank you to everyone who, we've planned this. We've taken a lifetime to plan this in many ways, to prepare, to get ready. And, we just pulled the trigger effectively, said, all right, we're going to do this. And with that, you can get a sense of direction. If you listen, if you've been watching the interviews, we've got the Darkstone dossiers coming up this weekend. We've got one of the true living legend grand masters of magic, and that's Bob Fitch. He's on the Darkstone dossiers miniseries, along with Joel Zaritsky, last year's president of the Society of American Magicians. So two major heavyweights are putting their full support behind the Academy. And of course, Anthony Darkstone, that's his program. So the four of us will be on. I'm going to pretty much sit back and let everyone else talk. So that's a process, a program that's up and going. A number of the other professors are also planning different programs. We have the Mystic Cabaret, which is about to launch next month, which I'm sure will get performances by Gino as well as myself and others. But I've passed that to Arthur Tivoli to be the MC. So I can kind of sit back and actually be one of the guests in, whatever strange character, magic, music, or whatever I choose to, embody for that performance. Let's see. We have all of that. We have the gala show, as I said, on the 26th. I know there's a couple more things I'm talking. We're still lots of things in the works. All right. So please just spread the word. Please let people know about this. Now, one of the things, I know what it was. It just hit me. Now, the Darkstone dossiers are Muggle friendly. By and large, we're trying to keep it so anyone can watch, anyone who has even just simply an enthusiast. And with the Genomania shows, some of them will be webcast straight to this, the Academy page, and those are the Muggle-friendly ones. But we also will have the Magi only, and that's where we go more into detail of effects, and we can open it up to just magicians. And we'll be doing that on the Art of Wonder group. That's our sister group, which is strictly for magicians. So if you're not on that and you are a magician, it's called the Art of Wonder. We've got the connections and stuff on the Facebook page. So that's sort of how we're doing it. The library that Gino is talking about, I've just had a glimpse of these books. It's absolutely extraordinary collection, as he said, of these out of print classic books of magic. So just this wealth of information that now stocks are the virtual library, which Gino just happens to be in front of, if I recall. Look at that. Yes. There's the Academy of Illusions library right there.
Yes, there it is. And you see this shelf up there, that's the JSB shelf right there. those beautiful ones. Just there. Whoa, look at all that. Look at all that. And I'm not giving any names away.
Oh, I see Neo Magic by S.H. Sharp. I'm sure I see it. Yes, that's a brand new one we just got in the library.
All right, so you are giving names away. Fair enough.
Well, I had to
Yes,
give the one
Gino
away.
is right up there.
Excellent. Well, once again, I'm going to say just huge thanks to everyone. I know Gino's got one more amazing illusion he's going to leave us off with. Then I'll give us a final roundup when that's over. So you got the spotlight, my friend. Let's see. Let's do some
Right.
magic.
Well, I just want to do a little intro to this because of something you just said. Yeah, we're going to do this at Genomania, which I kind of love. It's a bit of a boost to my ego, that name. We're going to do that sometimes purely for magicians. Now, last year there was a very, very large online magic competition, of which I was happy and honored to be chosen as one of the winners. It was an online magic video competition. One of the effects I did, which is the effect that helped me win this competition or be one of the winners of this competition, uses principles that a lot of modern young magicians don't know how to do. So this is the effect. And in the first Genomania for magicians, I'm actually going to show you how I did this effect, teach you how to do the effect, because the techniques and methods apply to so much. And it's something that you should know, but a lot of modern magicians don't know because it's fundamentals that are not around. So here it is, and I hope you like it. It's I'm so sorry for the aspect ratio. It will show in the middle of the screen, but this one was made, it had to be made for cell phones. So here we are. Hope you enjoy it.
Bring that ass back like a boom, 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 boom.
Well, and there we go. I believe
So, woo, 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 woo. I didn't want to, I got my, yeah. Oh, yes. Now, what we will do, that was a perfect teaser because I think next week we will announce the second Genomania, and we will have that. That'll be a perfect first one to webcast to the Art of Wonder page. So anyone who's part of that, I know some of you watching are, and that'll be a perfect chance to shift over to not only teasing them with that, but actually it's great, very gracious of you to offer to share that with all of us. I'm waiting. Okay, well, look, I'm going to give you final word here. Just give you a quick final thoughts, then I'll wrap this up. So.
No, I mean, Jay, thanks so much. I mean, you've given me so much scope on this to just rattle off. And I've got a pile of notes. I mean, there's just so much going on, and we could continue this for about 3 or 4 hours. But of course, that would be a bad thing. So all it leaves me to say is for anyone, thank you so much once again for all the love and support you've given to DeVille Magic. I will say this. As an English person in England, people generally are quite negative. They're not very supportive on new business projects and ideas. And you guys have just been unbelievable. The magic community have been fabulous. So thank you. I hope you've enjoyed the little performance pieces, and see you next time.
Outstanding. Thank you, Gino. And I'm going to say, final thoughts first. DeVilleMagic.net is the website, and it is on the Academy page. Please there's a lot of free stuff. Again, he's building a community that just ties right in with the Academy of Illusions. So feel free, go in there, check it out. There's a lot of free downloads. There's a lot of great information available, even if you're not ready to shop. So huge kudos to Gino for all the work you've done with this. And I'll echo the sentiment of thank you so much to everyone who's watching and supporting and getting this going. You know, my attitude is always that number one, the motto of the Academy is Excelsior, which it's reaching ever higher. It's that always reaching for the next rung, and it's that relentless pursuit of excellence. So, you know, that becomes the foundation upon everything that we're doing is built. We've made a commitment to the art, as Gino says, the art has given us so much, and now we're at this stage that we're really passionate about giving back. So, you know, I'm totally stoked. You see the enthusiasm with Gino. I share that 100%. To me, we're just getting going. This is like, you know, this is a whole new, it's not even a new chapter. This is a whole new book. This is the third book in the trilogy up and going. So huge thanks to everyone. Keep an eye on the Facebook page. That's where we're mainly loading all the info. The academyofillusions.com is the website. If you have any questions, I'm easy to track down. I'm constantly, of course, on Facebook. And huge thanks to Tommy, our director, Tom Illusions, who's been monitoring the Facebook feed and keeping an eye on that. It really is a team effort. And keep an eye this weekend. If you want to get involved with the Zoom storming, those come up this weekend as well. Even though it's started, you can jump in. They are available to jump in. Those are hands-on intensive magic training sessions, which yeah, just sort of setting the template, which we will then build upon going into next month. So look, that's it for today. Really appreciate all of that, all of the help from everyone, support. We will roll out with our cool little spinning, all the graphics, all the music, everything we're doing. It's all original. That's part of it. And what you see we're doing here is also available. All of the professors of the Academy, including Gino, are available for private mentoring, private lectures, group sessions, but also this creative side. We're able to do the websites, the magic, the graphics, a lot of stuff that supports the business side, as well as the theatrical and performance side. So with that, we will see you down the road. Here comes the cool latest song. We're going with that. We're going with that. And we're out of here.